Right, I'm going to have a look at this fan. Total cock up. Not good. I believed that the fan what I'd ordered exactly the same as the one that I'd ordered for the barn. Checked all my measurements yesterday before I cut anything. Got the manual. So all this is a total waste. So I need to order a new top and redo it all again. Let's get one ordered. So while I'm waiting to order that new top, because they're not open yet, I've just dug out for a final electrical connection, because we're doing away with the temporary box and getting it into the proper meter. Well, I've ordered a new top, so that's an extremely costly mistake. It's all of my own doing. So that'll be here next week. I did look at changing this fan for a bigger fan, for the fan which fits that, but it's just short of £2,000. So that's out the window. So right, I'm going to find something else to do. These things are very good, you know, these feather boards. If you're wanting to run you don't want to have your fingers down here, you can use your feather board to keep tension against the fence with whatever you're pushing through. This one's a double one, so I can, you know, you move them in and out. It'll go right in. I've just got it set at the moment. So that's one feather board there. Because this is a double one, you know, I can put 50mm timber through, put thicker timber through and just give it that bit of pressure. And just slide up, you know what I mean? Some of them you can mount vertically as well, so that it's also pushing down. Quite an handy thing to have. Well, I've got all the main electric connection in, so we've now got electric. Well, we'll have once the meters go on. So I'm going to get all this backfill, the tile tape on, and I can get rid of all this meter cabinet and posts. I've got that one in for the lower bit of cable, and then when I backfill up here I'll turn that one down to cover that cable there. And there's the second tile tape over that other cable. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. I was expecting the decor panel, which I was going to make the doors with for there, to look like that with the planks on. Because all the other decor panels, which got side of these units and this end, are all what you call planked. And it's plain. So I've messaged them and they've said, because it's classed as an island, it doesn't come planked. So that's a bit, not gutting, but I was really looking forward to it without having the planks on. This is what I'm going to be cutting up to make a series of doors for there. So I got some skirtings on there yesterday. I've got an infill piece to make in that corner there. And then I had that corner all glued up yesterday nice, and then when I screwed it on it popped. So just a bit of making good to do there. That's where my decor panel's going to go, on there. I've got skirtings made. I'm just waiting for some stuff to come, then I can finish that. Got skirting on the bottom there. It's not screwed on. I cut my doors down yesterday, but I'm waiting for edging tape. And then I can put all them on. Well, I've got to put hinges on them and mounting plates and suss that out. And then I've just a bit of jiggling to do. Just a bit of snagging I want to do on here. I'm thinking of changing this. I've put the cover caps on, you won't see them. But I'm going to see what it looks like. And it's already doing me head in. And I think I'm going to remake this and try and get some fixings in from the back so I don't see them. But I'll sort that out later. And I'm just making the panel for here, the access panel. So I've just got a jig on there for routing out my buttons, so I'll just get sorted for that. Yeah, that's one of them in. Get the good old jiff out before I put it on. Just get rid of all my pencil marks and give it clean. Just put a few screw covers on just to tidy it up. I always like to try and get my screw covers all nice. You know, one above the other, just using a square. Oh yeah? I'm going to sort something out for here, just so it doesn't look a big expanse of white. But I'll wait till I get the doors on that side and see what I'm going to do. Alright, look. New top. In my last video, you'll have noticed that I fitted it. I set it all out, checked everything, double checked it before I cut anything. Following morning came, sat the fan in. All were too big. As soon as I did that, I realised what I'd done. So you'll see in some of my early videos the barn. It had a ride same extractor, and I'd used the manual here for reading about what I needed to adapt in the cupboard. Then when I came to cut it out, I picked up that manual and knocked the manual out of my fan unit, because my fan unit isn't as long. So it was right balls up. So I looked at replacing the fan unit for the longer one, and on the internet they're anywhere between 1,600 and 2,000 quid. So I thought, I'm not paying that I would have liked the long one because it looks smart. Anyway, I bought a new top and it's come just now, so I'm going to, well, start all again. Now it's given a nice cut. When I'm cutting through this, I don't want it to drop and chip this, so I've packed it all underneath, but I've made sure that these come right across the saw cut so it'll hold that and the sawn off piece. I'm trying to get my fan in, so I've got it in, but what happens is this side is facing the room. There's two legs screw on this side and you can't get them on until the fan unit is through its hole in the worktop. So I've had to cut a hole out there because I've also got the fan motor protrudes through. Then I've got to cut the floor out, get some ducting in, and I'm gonna put all my ducting back in underneath to connect it up. But the legs, there's a set distance. I'm just a few mil too high with this, so I'm just going to notch these out where the legs go, because one of the legs is just sticking up a little bit too far and it's catching where the electrical connection goes in. Once I put the fan in, I'll show you that. And I also had to adapt my floor in there, what I put in, but I'll show you that when I put the fan in. That's what I've had to notch out for the legs, but that leg was sat up here and it was encroaching on the electrical connections. So just square that up, that fan. I've got some adjustment. Just want to plumb it up. I've got some adjustments in the legs. I'm not final fixing it at the moment. I just want to get it somewhat like, because I need to connect the motor housing and see where all the ductwork goes, so I can cut all that out. So I've got to cut that out for the motor housing, but behind that there's an open hole and it's all the motor which enables the extractor to rise up and down, and you don't want any cack in there, so I've just boarded it over just while I cut all this, because I need to keep that in there clean. Just want to make sure I keep in here clean, because the last thing I want is all dust getting in all these gears in there and everything else. So I've just got that temporary screwed in at the moment. Now I've got to get a 6-inch duct from here down through the base of that cupboard, connected to ductwork underneath. So if I came out at 90 degrees, that's where it wants to go. There. It can't, because that hits the worktop legs. That's where it wants to be, to not miss the legs. So I'm gonna put it there, but I'm just gonna give it 10mm clearance this way, because I've got room. Oh. Well, the ducting's in under there. I'm a bit short between there and there, so I've ordered a piece. I've got that in. I've got that in, and the connections come from there down and underneath. So I'm going to make a backboard here and a shelf so that it hides all that, and then at least you get a shelf in the cupboard, you know, you don't lose it all. So then the idea is you just press that and it all rises up out the worktop. All this tape comes off here, that stainless steel behind there, it looks smart when it's done. I need to get all this worktop protected. I've had all my tools stood on cardboard, but I need to get it properly protected. I need to make in here, I need to strip it all out. And I can't think why. But I had it all in my head that I needed to take it out again. I'm just gluing up some trims. I've just cut the worktop which goes for the sink and goes over the dishwasher. I'm just going to glue these on, and then I can, it's Sunday tomorrow, so if I get these on I can come out early, because I like to start early and I don't bother anybody. I'd much rather have a good start in the morning, you know, and finish somewhere like 4 o'clock. Then I can have a shower and get me tea, and I've still got an evening. Well, I'll just give you an update of where I am, because I'm going to round this video off here. So I've got the fan in, all accessible at the back there. I need to make all my doors. I've cut them to size, they're all in there. But I ordered a load of hinges, and I chased them up the other day, and the bloke's on holiday till the 20th. So they're not getting made. So I've been waiting for some edge banding as well. And these cupboards are sage green, but the company I got them from don't make a sage green edging. So I ordered some off the internet. Totally different colour. And found that one. Totally different colour. And I found that one. Different colour. But I'm going with that one, because when it's on the edges, you can see how the edges darken up in there because of the shadow. So when it's on, it doesn't look bad, it blends in well. So I'm waiting for that to come. Got my fan in, but it all needs to come back out again, because I've got all this bit of worktop to make and join up. The fan unit in. I'm going to make some shelves for in there and up there. Got all this in, dishwasher goes in there. It's only all sat in, none of these are fixed, because they all need to come out. Got some plumbing works to do at the back, so at least they're in and I know where they're going. Got that cupboard in. If you go back on my past videos, you'll see that these were in first when I set them out. Spent a bit of time. That cupboard is 600mm wide. The gap what I left, $601, but it fitted and it went in, and that's all that matters. It was a bit twitchy for a minute, but it's in. Got sink unit to cut in, but I'm not going to cut that in yet because it's awkward. Oh. It's awkward getting this worktop in and out. Anyway, it is. So I'm going to cut that in later, once this is in for the final time. Those are the tiles what I'm going to use. I just set them on there to see what they look like. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. We're progressing along steadily, and I'll see you next time.